Have you ever wondered who plants the great trees of the rainforest? Down on the forest floor, many seeds fall and struggle for light, but high above, in the sun-drenched canopy, a magnificent bird is at work. This is the Enggang, or hornbill, of Borneo. It is no ordinary bird. With its enormous, colorful bill and the powerful beat of its wings, whoosh, whoosh, it soars over the jungle like a creature from a forgotten age. These birds are not just inhabitants of the forest, they are its architects. They are the winged gardeners of the sky, scattering the seeds of giant trees far and wide, ensuring the forest can be born anew, generation after generation. Without them, the vibrant green heart of Borneo would slowly begin to fade. Their presence is a sign of a healthy, thriving ecosystem. When you hear the distinctive whoosh whoosh of their wings, you know you are in a place where nature's ancient cycles are still turning. The sound is so powerful it is often mistaken for a steam train chugging through the dense jungle. These birds are a living link to the primeval world, a time when giant creatures ruled the earth. Seeing one glide effortlessly from one treetop to another is a truly breathtaking spectacle. To understand the Enggang is to understand the forest itself, for their fates are inextricably linked. To see an Enggang is to be captivated by its extraordinary appearance. It is a bird of magnificent proportions and striking colors. The first thing one notices is, of course, its bill. This enormous beak is topped by a large hollow structure called a casque. In the case of the Rhinoceros Hornbill, this casque curves upwards, a brilliant splash of orange and red, almost like a horn. It is not as heavy as it looks, for it is made of a honeycomb of keratin, the same material as our fingernails. This impressive feature acts as a resonating chamber, amplifying the bird's calls across the vast expanse of the jungle. And it is also a bold statement of health and maturity to other hornbills. Most species sport a bold combination of black and white feathers, which creates a stunning contrast against the green canopy as they fly. Their powerful wings, when spread, can span over 1.5 meters, allowing them to soar with surprising grace for such a large bird. The skin around their eyes and on their throat pouches can be brightly colored in blues, reds, or yellows, adding to their regal appearance. Each of the 8 hornbill species found in Borneo has its own unique charm. The helmeted hornbill, for instance, has a solid casque, not hollow like the others. Then there is the wrinkled hornbill, with its inflatable, bright yellow throat pouch. They are living works of art, sculpted by millions of years of evolution. The daily life of an Enggang is a constant search for food, a journey through the upper levels of the forest. They are creatures of the canopy, rarely venturing down to the dark forest floor. Their days begin with the rising sun. Pairs small family groups leave their roosting trees to forage. They fly with a distinctive, powerful rhythm. Deep wing beats, long glide. This flying conserves energy important for long journeys in search of fruiting trees. Their flight path is often a direct line across the forest, a purposeful mission to find their next meal. Finding food is their primary occupation. Enggangs have an incredible mental map territory spanning many square kilometers. They remember hundreds of locations, fig trees, fruit trees, and when they will be ripe. Their social life centers on a strong pair bond. Most mate for life. The male-female connection is touching to witness. Perched close together, preening each other's feathers. Male offering tasty fruit morsels, strengthening the bond. As dusk falls, Enggangs return to communal roosts. Large flocks gather in a massive tree, their calls echo as they settle. Communal roosting offers safety and numbers protection from nocturnal predators, clouded leopards, large owls. Perhaps the most astonishing aspect of the Enggang's life is its unique nesting behavior. It is a story of incredible trust, sacrifice, and devotion that is almost unparalleled in the avian world. When the time comes to raise a family, the female hornbill seeks out a large natural hollow high up in the trunk of an old tree. This cavity will become her nursery, but also her voluntary prison. She enters the hollow and begins sealing herself inside, leaving only a tiny vertical slit, just wide enough for the male to pass food through. She uses a paste made from her own droppings, regurgitated fruit, and mud brought by her mate to construct this wall. It is a slow and painstaking process. The paste hardens into a substance as strong as concrete, protecting her and her future chicks from any potential predators. The male's role is now one of tireless dedication. From dawn until dusk, he must forage not just for himself, but for his imprisoned mate and their growing family. He arrives at the nest, calls to his mate, and carefully passes the food through the narrow opening. When the chicks are old enough to be left for short periods, the female breaks out of her plaster wall. She emerges, thin and with regrown flight feathers, ready to help the male in his quest for food. The chicks, now working together, reseal the nest entrance from the inside, once again protecting themselves from danger. Both parents now share the duty of feeding their offspring until they are strong enough to break out of the nest and take their first flight. The Borneo rainforest is never silent, and the Enggang bird is one of its most prominent musicians. Their calls are as distinctive and impressive as their appearance, forming a vital part of the jungle's soundscape. Each species has its own unique vocabulary of sounds, which they use to communicate across the dense canopy. The call of the Rhinoceros Hornbill is a series of loud, resonant honks, almost like a goose that can travel for more than a kilometer. These calls are used to declare territory, to keep in contact with their mate while foraging, to warn of approaching danger. One of the most bizarre and unforgettable sounds comes from the Helmeted Hornbill. Its call starts with a series of deep, booming notes, tuk tuk tuk, that gradually increase in speed and pitch, before erupting into a wild, maniacal cackle that sounds eerily like human laughter echoing through the trees. The wings of most large hornbills have gaps between their primary feathers. As they fly, air rushes through these gaps, creating a loud whoosh 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 sound that can be heard from a great distance. This rhythmic beat is not just a byproduct of their flight, it serves as another way for the birds to keep track of each other in the thick vegetation. For the people of the forest, this sound is a welcome announcement, signaling the presence of these magnificent birds and the health of the world around them. Listening to the Enggang is listening to the very pulse of the Borneo rainforest, a symphony of survival that we must strive to protect. The enormous beak of the Enggang might look cumbersome, but it is a precision instrument, perfectly designed for its diet. These birds are primarily frugivores. They feed on fruit and are particularly fond of figs. Figs are a cornerstone of the rainforest, providing food year-round, and hornbills are their most important consumers. Using the very tip of its long beak, an Enggang can pluck a ripe fig, then toss it into the air and catch it in its throat to swallow whole. While fruit is the bulk of their diet, hornbills are opportunistic omnivores and will take protein-rich snacks. Their powerful beaks can catch large insects, lizards, snakes' eggs of other birds, chicks of other birds. This varied diet gives them the nutrients for large bodies and to sustain the breeding season. Hornbills are vital seed dispersers. Their digestive system lets seeds pass unharmed, they then fly off, sometimes many kilometers, and later regurgitate or excrete the seeds, planting new trees far from the parent. This prevents seedling overcrowding, helps colonize new areas, and keeps the forest genetically diverse. The Enggang fruit-tree relationship is mutualism. Trees give food, birds transport seeds. This partnership shaped the Borneo rainforest over millennia. The hornbills are the winged gardeners. To protect the hornbill is to protect the cycle of regeneration that keeps the forest alive and well. Borneo, the third largest island in the world, is a realm of unparalleled biodiversity. Its rainforests are among the oldest on Earth, having stood for an estimated 140 million years. This long history of stability has allowed for the evolution of an incredible array of life. It is a world of giant dipterocarp trees that soar over 70 meters into the sky. This island is not just a collection of trees, it is a living, breathing kingdom of nature. The Enggang birds are perfectly suited to this unique environment, provides them with everything they need, ample nesting sites in the hollows of ancient trees, an abundance of fruit to sustain their large bodies. However, this ancient kingdom is incredibly fragile. The very things that make it a perfect home for the Enggang are under threat. The old-growth trees that provide essential nesting cavities are the most valuable to the logging industry. As these giants are felled, hornbills lose their homes. Huge swaths of this once endless sea of green have been cleared to make way for vast plantations, particularly for palm oil. This habitat loss fragments the forest, creating small, isolated patches where hornbill populations become trapped. They can no longer fly their long-distance routes in search of food, their gene pool shrinks, and they become more vulnerable to disease and extinction. The unique and irreplaceable kingdom of Borneo is being dismantled, and with it, the future of its most majestic avian inhabitants hangs in the balance. For the indigenous peoples of Borneo, such as the Iban and the Dayak, the Enggang is far more than just a bird. It is a creature of profound spiritual significance, a cultural treasure that bridges the gap between the earthly and the divine. Rhinoceros Hornbill Kenyalang, a divine messenger. This reverence is woven into their culture. The image of the Enggang is everywhere. Carved posts of longhouses, painted shields, feathers and ceremonial headdresses. Gawai Kenyalang, the Hornbill Festival, a major celebration for the Iban people. Helmeted Hornbill, prized for its solid casque. Poaching and illegal trade pushing it to extinction. An ecological and cultural crisis, hunted into silence for profit. The story of the Enggang of Borneo is a powerful reminder of what we stand to lose. These magnificent birds, with their strange and wonderful habits, are a testament to the marvels of the natural world. From their selfless nesting rituals to their vital role as the forest's gardeners, they are an indispensable part of one of the richest ecosystems on our planet. Their calls and the sound of their powerful wings are the heartbeat of Borneo, a rhythm that has pulsed through these ancient trees for millennia. But now, that heartbeat is growing faint. We are at a critical moment where our actions or our inaction will decide their fate. But there is still hope. Across Borneo, dedicated conservation groups and local communities are fighting to protect the Enggang and their habitat. They are working to establish protected forest corridors, allowing the birds to travel safely between fragmented areas. They are running patrols to combat poaching and working with villagers to provide alternative livelihoods that do not depend on destroying the forest. By supporting these organizations, we can all contribute to this vital work, no matter where we are in the world. Ultimately, the future of the Enggang is in our hands. We can all make a difference by making conscious choices, by learning more about where products like palm oil come from. Let us work to ensure that for generations to come, the great winged gardeners of Borneo can continue to soar over a thriving forest, planting the seeds of a wild and wonderful future for us all.